is what makes it so valuable.
The knowledge skill.
What's wrong with a reporter? She's slurring her words.
Surrey isn't the only place questioning the value of the RCMP.
She's staggering now. She's drunk. This reporter is drunk. You got that right. Clinton Jaws, guys. Website out there called clintonjaws.com. I don't even know if there's anything on it. I'll get to that in a second. Wearing this shirt. Is that how you're going to start it? I bought this shirt a year ago. I haven't worn it because my wife said, "You're not wearing that shirt. You're never wearing that shirt. You look like you work at an ice cream parlor." That's what she said. Those are her words. Guess what? I'm wearing the shirt. I'm wearing it. It's on my body. It's going to be online forever. I haven't been on here in a while, and it's going to show. It's going to show. It's going to show. I'm going to show you my rust. There's a reason why I haven't been on here. And you don't have to put in the comments, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear. It's bad. It's sad." I don't want to hear about that. I'll just tell you what's going on. 3 weeks ago, I think it was about 3 weeks ago. Let's start back, actually, when I was working in Mission. I don't know how long ago that was. 13, 14, 15 years ago. I'm working there one day, and we get some news that my dad has an aneurysm in his aorta. I'm not going to explain what that is. And I don't even know if I'm saying it right. It was a couple centimeters big. They had to put a stent in it, so they sent him down to Victoria to get it done. So I go down there, visiting him in the hospital, and he gets this stent put in his, I don't know, somewhere in his body to stop this aneurysm from growing. It's bad if it grows because it could burst. And he's lucky. They were lucky that they found it. He's told this. He's told that he's lucky. So they put it in. It doesn't work. Little time down the road, it's still leaking. So they go back in to fix it. It still doesn't work. A little bit more time down the road, they got some kind of Australian wrap. They go in there, they wrap it. That doesn't work. This is like in the course of years, guys. And all this time, it keeps on growing and growing and growing. So they go back in again, and they use some glue. That doesn't work. And they tell him, basically last year, there's nothing we can do for you. We can't go back in. And now it's at a 10 centimeters. So my dad just sits at home waiting for this thing to burst. Well, he's sitting at home a few weeks ago, and his stomach doesn't feel right. Stomach is growing. So he goes to the hospital. Yeah, I need a cigarette for this one. Good old hospital. Goes to the hospital. Him and my mom. It's like 1 p.m. He waits 6 hours before he sees a doctor. My mom tells them that he's got an aneurysm. They don't care. It's not serious enough, I guess. So they see him, and the male nurse, who's a wingnut, he tells my dad that you got to go to Victoria. I sent your scan to Victoria, and the surgeon's waiting for you. Surgeon is waiting for you. And if you don't do it, you're going to die tonight. So he had life-saving surgery. That's what he's going to go to Victoria for. These guys, okay, maybe I'll show you a video. He takes off. Why am I going to show you the video? Well, it enhances my video that you're watching. My dad takes off in a helicopter. quite the scene.
How come they go that way?
Because they turn around. Take off into the wind. It was a pretty awesome, emotional, thing to watch. But these guys in the helicopter, man, they come in to see my dad in Port Alberni. They are unbelievable. Like you want to talk about professionalism. I'm not going to be able to describe to you what I saw. But these men and women that fly around in these helicopters to save people, they're unbelievable. The most professionalism I've ever seen anybody display. And some of the greatest people to talk to. This guy just told us exactly what was going on with Dad. The hospital didn't. So it grew from 10 to 11 in 1 year. But it's leaking like a son of a bitch. Leaking like a son of a bitch. Where the leaking is going to kill him. Anyways, I guess that's all I'm going to say about the helicopter people. But, Matt, you got to know, like, the stuff that they see, they're the people scraping up the body. Well, they're not scraping up. They're transporting the scraped up body parts to different hospitals around the world. What a horrific job. But I look at them totally different now. So my dad goes down to Victoria. I know it's a long story. Just calm down. This is why I haven't been around. Because I've been in Victoria quite a bit, and I just didn't feel like hitting record. So he gets a surgery done. It doesn't work. Because it never works. I don't know what's going on. The surgeon said to my dad, he's 82, my dad. I wouldn't do this if I didn't think I could help you. 48 hours later, they give him a scan, and it's leaking like a son of a bitch. So the decision was made to go back in and do another operation 48 hours later. These are 5-hour operations. I heard doctors say heroic surgery. I heard them say that. I heard one doctor say you had 2 of the most dangerous operations or something like that you can have. So he's still in the hospital. It appears that one worked, but when you have surgery like that, it's hard for everything to go smoothly, and he's still stuck in the hospital. Why'd I tell you all that? I don't know. I don't know, because some of you watch me, and I thought it was important that I share that with you. By the way, I got these notes. Is my address on there? Yeah, it is. Look, it's from the RCMP. I don't even open these. I don't even know why I'm showing you this. But I don't know how many thousands. It feels like thousands. Thousands of letters that I get from the RCMP, and they all say one thing. I haven't even opened them. Some are bigger and some are smaller. I don't know why. It's the same thing. I've been getting this. I think I've already shared this with you. But I'm getting a kick out of this. The RCMP has been sending this to me since 2007. And look at this. Look what they want. They want money, guys. They want $156. I just assume that's what it is. And I keep it to make notes on it. Yeah. Hi, Clint. Can you please... This little sticky note. Oh, my God. This one went to the Port Alberni detachment. Little sticky. Hi, Clint. Can you please change your address for this? Thank you, Michelle. No, I don't think so. So they got an address of Morton Street, which is really weird. Well, what's the address on this one? Oh, Morton Street. Okay, yeah, so the RCMP in Port Alberni, they're sending it to me. No, I'm not going to change my address. $156, guys. Do you know how much voluntary overtime I did for the RCMP over a course of my career? For free. I work for free. And they want... I get transferred from Duncan. I'm going to Langley, right? They say that I spent one day too much in the hotel room. And I told them. I told them this years ago. No, I didn't. You're wrong. It's not true. I didn't spend one day too long. The days that I spent are entitled to me. And they said no. And so now I don't know, man. I don't know. Does it cost to send mail? Because if it costs them to send mail, which I think it does, hundreds of dollars in mail. Stupid. Not paying it. I am not paying that bill. And I'm not changing my address. Why didn't you tell me? I don't even know what the hell that says. Sorry, my son just came down here. He wants money. So I gave him more money. Yeah, guys. You know what? Got that website out there. And some guy ordered a shirt the other day. Like 3 weeks ago. And I was going through all this stuff with Big Daddy. I come home and I don't have any shirts. No NFARCHs. They're all sold out. And I felt bad because he paid for this shirt and he's not getting one. So I gave him a call. I called him up. He's at the Ryu in Puerto Vallarta. Okay? He's sitting in his room. It's noon. He's sitting in his room with his wife. And I'm like, dude, why are you in your room? Well, it's just too hot, Clint. It's too hot. It's like 32 Celsius. I'm like, you're in Mexico, man. You're surprised that it's hot? Anyway, he was sweating out there. I told him, maybe you should try swimming. That sometimes will cool you down. Like if you go into the ocean when it's hot. We had a good call. We talked for an hour. Turns out he was a police officer. He just retired. You know, it's amazing to me. It's amazing that members... He retired because of medical reasons. He doesn't know. He kind of knows that he's entitled to money. I'm not gonna do a big video about this because I don't even really know how it works. But if you're on medical leave, guys, and you're in the RCMP, you can apply for CPP disability. I don't know the exact rules. There's something like a waiting period of 4 months. If they approve you, you get a whack load of money. A lot of members are getting $20,000 back pay checks. You guys know about Veterans Affairs. If you got something wrong with you, maybe a sore hip, a bad back, it's duty related, you can get money. PTSD, $2,000, $3,000 for the rest of your life. And then when you get diagnosed with PTSD, you can do more Veterans Affairs applications because there's things that are related to PTSD. And I forget the consequential to PTSD. I think that's the terminology. A lot of members have PTSD, and I don't have this, okay? Also have erectile dysfunction. Okay. See, I didn't want to say that because now you think I got it. Okay, I have a good size, massive, large penis, okay? It's not dysfunctional. It's good. I've had a man penis since I've been in grade 3. It's a large penis. And also you can, what else is related to it? Heartburn? You can have a claim for heartburn. IBS. You can have a claim for IBS if you have PTSD. It just keeps on going and going and going. And then you got Canada Life Insurance. When members are on medical leave and they leave the force because of medical leave, they could go on Canada Life for 2 years. Well, guess what? This is something I also learned. Members are getting telephone calls from Canada Life, and they're saying, hey, it expires in 2 years, but we reviewed your file. You're actually going to get it till you're 65. Until the old age pension kicks in or whatever it's called. Anyways, you got a lot of things. He didn't really know. He got sleep apnea 6 years ago while he was a cop. That is duty related. That's a claim. I just thought I'd share that with you. And I should have somebody on here to explain it all. Because there's members walking around there clearing 10 grand a month and they're retired. And you don't know. Because the assholes don't tell you about it. They don't tell you about it. His boss is the ones that's telling him about it. A lot of members don't know. I know a lot of members are now walking around with, PTSD claims. And that's another thing. You could get this money and still work. It's another pension. But you don't know. Nobody tells you about it. How do you find out, right? How do you find out about it? He starts telling me some stories about work because it's just kind of nice to hear people that relate to me. Like some of you send me messages, and I'm sorry that I haven't gotten back to you. And this guy even said to me, he goes, I thought you were mad at me. Oh man, when you write something to me, I'm not very good at getting back to you on it. If you call my hotline number, I will get back to you. Eventually I will. But he starts telling me some stories that just gave my stomach like EGGBs. And they're not even going to be a big deal to you, but it's the culture of the RCMP. What do you mean by that? Well, we got to change the culture. But what part of the culture is the problem? It's only one thing, and that's supervisors. And he told me a whackload of stories. And I related to, I knew exactly what he's talking about. Just the feeling that they give you. He's working. They beg him to go onto the watch. He was in another section. They beg him to go on the watch and take a recruit. So he goes on the watch. He takes another recruit. IRP just comes out. What's an IRP? Impaired driving, okay? It used to be you pull a guy over, you bring him back to the detachment, they blow. It's a 3-hour investigation. It takes forever. Then you got another 3 hours to do the paperwork. It's hard to even do 2 in a night. You're lucky. You don't want to do 2 in a night. Now it's the IRP. Immediate roadside prohibition. You do it all roadside, 20 minutes. You could do 10 a night if you wanted to. He doesn't know how to do an IRP because he missed that. He missed the training. He wasn't on general duty. He wasn't on the watch. And his bosses are telling him, go write some tickets. Get out there and write some tickets. So him and the female recruit, they go out and they get 2 IRPs in one night. Pretty good. And he's kind of learning with her. He takes the paperwork. I think he faxed the motor vehicle branch, and then he placed it in, I think, a wrong bin, and the paperwork went to the wrong place, and he gets hauled in. He gets hauled into the office from the sergeant and the staff sergeant. And he walks into the office, and they say, shut the door, shut the door. Famous saying, can you shut the door behind you? You know you're in big shit. And they basically came down on him, saying it was fatal errors that he did. What he did was fatal errors. I mean, you're going to have to cancel everything. Turned out they were wrong. He didn't have to cancel anything. But because he placed those documents in the wrong box, honest mistake, that was fatal. And you need to know about it. And you need to feel bad about it. And by the way, we were talking to your female recruit. She says you don't show her anything. And my stomach's just like, it's all horse shit, right? It's all bullshit. You're going to believe what the recruit instantly, well, that's what he says. That's not true. And well, that's what she says. Okay. It's coming from her. It's her opinion. Okay. Everybody's opinion is correct. That's the mentality. That's how they think. So he's just telling me these stories, and I'm like, that's gross, man. That's gross. You got a dark cloud over your head. They said that to him at one point. How do we get that dark cloud over your head? The pulling in, because they're bored. Over what? Over what? If I'm the boss, do you really think I'm going to come down hard on my guy that just took 2 drunk drivers off the road? Do you think I'm going to give somebody shit for that? Oh no, so you placed it in the wrong bin. Who gives a rat fuck? Really? Common sense, the culture. That's what you change. You don't make these people bosses. Get a course on that. The stuff just pisses me off. It gets me going. And it's actually kind of hard to listen to. Okay. Guys, just because I text somebody something, you don't have to reply okay. That ding, the ding of this telephone, you know, when you get a text message, go ding, ding, trigger. That's my trigger. I can't stand it. I'll put it on silent. Somebody might call. The wife, okay, she's a nurse. They pay this comedian like $10,000. His name's Michael something. It's supposed to help out morale, right? It's a morale booster. He's supposed to be really funny. And he's teaching the audience of all these nurses. I should have went. And he's teaching them. And he's teaching them how to, do things better at work for morale. And he starts giving examples like in Nova Scotia, somewhere, I don't know where. One of the nurses for a week, her job was to work, but also to scare the living shit out of the other nurses. And it catches on. We're not really telling the story right. Well, that's what it was. So on night shifts for the week, like she would hide in a clothing bin or whatever, laundry bin, and she'd scare the shit out of the nurses. And I couldn't help but thinking, I started thinking this. So fuck yeah. If I went back to work, maybe I would spend my night shifts just scaring the living shit out of everybody in the office, because we're in our office, 2, 3 in the morning. A lot of the times when we're typing, we're doing paperwork. I started thinking, yeah, that'd be fun. I'd be just scaring the living motherfucking shit out of them. And then I thought, that ain't gonna fucking fly. Why? Because there was no common sense in management. None. You know what would have happened to me if I did that? The staff sergeant would have called me in to his office. Clint, he would have told me I'm getting a code of conduct. It doesn't look like you're doing any work. You're just scaring the shit out of everybody. We can't have that. We got you on video jumping around. Is there something wrong with you, Clint? Odd behavior, Clint. Really odd behavior. That's what would happen to me. Erica complained. You scared the living bejesus out of her. We gotta write you up for this. This just doesn't make any sense, Clint. Who does that? It's exactly what would happen. You're getting a code of conduct for no performance. What's the point? I don't know. Just these people are so stupid. I know there's some great staff sergeants. I worked with them and inspectors and sergeants. I know there are. But my God, the majority of them are just fucking dumb. How stupid can you be? I'm getting mad at a story I just made up in my mind. I'm getting mad at my staff sergeant right now because he won't let me scare my watch. So stupid. But that's what he would do. I think you need some counseling. I just sit here and I think, and I just think, it's a bunch of geeks. It's a bunch of losers that should have never became a police officer. And when they do, they love the power. And they don't let any small thing go. They don't. And they hammer you into the ground. They do more damage than what a bad guy does out on the streets to a police officer. That's who damages police officers. Bad bosses. Nothing's a one-off. No room for failure. This kid didn't even fail that I talked to on the phone. That's not even a fail. Who cares? Like, why would you care? He took people off the road. Maybe saved a life. And you're giving him shit for that. That's just fucking unbelievable to me. Well, it's a bunch of little things, Clint. I had somebody say that to me once. What's the little things? Well, it's a bunch. What are they? Fucking moron. Let's talk about something different. I came across a video this morning. I just want to show it to you, okay? I don't even know why I want to show it to you. I'm just going to talk about it. I don't even really know what I'm going to say about it, but it might be interesting. It probably won't be, but it might be. It's from CBC. Is it time to rethink the RCMP? These communities think so. Remember that headline, okay? These communities think so. Okay, ready to watch this? CBC.
This is the fleet for Canada's newest police force.
Looks nice.
Decked out and ready to go.
Yeah.
But when a 911 call comes in, these cars can't respond.
So we're in this dilemma.
Norm Lipinski, okay, when I was a cop, he was a cop in the RCMP. He's been a cop for 72 years in the RCMP. And I just find he now works for Surrey. He's the head honcho in Surrey. All these people that work for the RCMP, now they went over to Surrey. Like we got Side Hair Girl. She worked in Maple Ridge. She was bigger than an inspector. Let's call them captains. I don't even know what they are anymore. Okay, she was a captain of Maple Ridge. Goes over to Surrey, and I'm thinking they wanted to replace the Surrey RCMP with more RCMP. Like, it doesn't even make sense to me. It's the RCMP. Norm. Did you know Norm looks exactly like his wife? Anyways. See what he has to say.
Dilemma, somebody's got to be in charge. One police of jurisdiction, and that's the RCMP. So they are in charge, and we work for them, if you will.
It's Chief Norm Lipinski's job to sell the Surrey Police Service, to replace the Mounties.
We will never win everybody over, but I do believe that we bring some goodness to this city. And we won't let the city down.
Just like the RCMP didn't.
Letting people down is exactly what the Mounties did in Port.
Okay. Okay, here we go. This is an example they'll use till the end of time, won't they?
Letting people down is exactly what the Mounties did in Portapique, Nova Scotia in 2020. Systemic failures, poor
Systemic failures.
communications,
Yes.
and a lack of local knowledge played a role in the country's worst mass shooting.
Well, yeah, okay, yes, it was the country's worst mass shooting. But don't forget about what happened in Montreal. 37 people were killed. Right? Like, why don't we ever talk about that? It was 1979. They're going to completely refer to this till the end of time. I swear to God they are.
This year, an inquiry exposed the challenges of a police force spread too thin. A single organization responsible for everything.
Why is it too thin? Why was it thin in 2020? Brenda Lucky, that's why.
From traffic to terrorism. It's why Lipinski believes Surrey deserves a police force just for Surrey.
I do believe
Crock of
it's
shit.
time to have a second look. Can they do federal policing, national security, and then do boots on the ground policing?
Well, answer the question, dude. He was like the assistant commissioner forever. Why won't you answer the question? Why are you asking the question? What do you think?
National security, and then do boots on the ground policing.
Should the Mounties police both urban cities and rural towns? Could they focus solely on federal crimes, like the FBI? They're questions for the top Mountie in BC.
There's a top mountain.
I think those discussions are healthy.
Oh.
I think we as an organization
Dwayne.
need to learn from and evolve as a result of those discussions to make ourselves better.
What the hell did he just say? Dwayne, I don't even know what you're saying.
Dwayne McDonald argues the RCMP's model is what makes it so valuable.
The knowledge, skills,
What's wrong with a reporter? She's slurring her words.
and expertise that we are able
Hold
to
on.
bring to
Makes it so valuable.
the knowledge, skills, and expertise that we are able to bring to any one public safety issue, whether small in a rural area or internationally. I think that's something that we shouldn't shy away from, but that we should celebrate.
Surrey isn't the only place questioning the value of the RCMP.
She's staggering now. She's drunk. This reporter is drunk. Okay. God. I mean, at least speak clearly.
Place questioning the value of the RCMP.
What's in
The
your
force
mouth?
has been plagued by a sexual
Okay, I'm
assault
sorry.
scandal.
She's
I think
distracting
that's
me.
something that
I
we
gotta listen to what she
shouldn't
says.
shy away from, but that we should celebrate.
Surrey isn't the only place questioning the value of the RCMP.
So Surrey is questioning the value of the RCMP? No. What do you mean Surrey wasn't questioning the value of the RCMP? One guy was, the mayor. Remember the mayor? That guy. That's who ousted the RCMP. He's a liar. The RCMP thought he was a liar. The mayor was arrested for lying.
First, Surrey Mayor Doug McCallum told Global News he had been struck by a car and was treated at Peace Arch Hospital for soft tissue damage.
As she pulled out and turned right, she clipped my knee and my bottom leg and then ran over my foot at the same time and then took off. It ran right across here, across my shoe that
And
way.
you said hit your knee as well?
Yeah, on the way through it sort of glanced off my knee and then the tire went right across here.
That's what he was arrested for. He went to court. He was charged. He went to court for lying. He said his foot was ran over from somebody, a lady. He blamed that a lady ran over his foot, called the police. The police said, "You're lying. We're arresting you. We're charging you. You're going to court." That's the dimwit that was questioning the values of the RCMP. One person. But she's making as though it's everybody. See, this is the shit that gets me going.
Shy away from, but that we should celebrate.
Surrey isn't the only place questioning the value of the RCMP.
Okay, so who else then? Who else?
The force has been plagued by a sexual assault scandal.
Have you read that sexual assault scandal? I read it all. You should read it. I'm not gonna talk about it right now, but you should read it. I'm still waiting for you to answer. Who else is questioning it?
Called out for systemic racism.
Called out for systemic racism. That's because the commissioner, Brenda Lucky, said there was systemic racism in the RCMP. Who cares if they were called out for systemic racism? There is no more that doesn't even exist anymore. I always knew it never existed. But now it definitely doesn't exist because Brenda Lucky came up with 17 initiatives to battle systemic racism.
I've been listening, I've been learning, I've been consulting with all kinds of groups, including Indigenous leaders such as the former MMIWG Commissioner Marion Buller, the AFN National Chief, Senator Murray Sinclair, the Native Women's Association of Canada, the Inuit Women's Association.
But can I ask you directly though, how do you intend to be able to fix it, given the fact that there's a lack of confidence in you as a result of the statements by the Indigenous leaders?
Thank you. Yes, in the days and weeks following that appearance, I led the development of an action plan to address systemic racism and discrimination. And the plan has been developed in cooperation with a range of stakeholders that I mentioned. And we have a total of 17 initiatives that have been under development and are being implemented.
She came in like a fart in a wind, fucked everything up, and left, but fixed systemic racism, right? She came up with 17 initiatives, guys. So obviously it's fixed. I don't even know why she's talking about systemic racism now. Brenda's gone. Her 17 initiatives are still there. It's fixed. Everybody got racist training in the RCMP. It's fixed. How can you not know that? And yeah, I probably shouldn't have brought up the what'd she say? Plagued with the
isn't the only place questioning the value of the RCMP. The force has been plagued by a sexual assault scandal.
Sexual assault scandal, yeah. I have a friend. She's still in the force. She's a female. We get along. I would consider her one of my good friends, even though I don't see her. We talk, though. And she read the sexual assault scandal, and I read it. And then we had an argument about it. It's so sensitive, I can't even bring it up. And if memory serves me right, I was just like, they're talking about a doctor sexually assaulting the women. Anyways, I can't get into it.
Called out for systemic racism. And most recently,
who was calling them out for systemic? Well, the Liberals. Recently what?
Mass shooting in Nova Scotia.
Okay, you got me there, okay? You got me with the mass shooting.
Exposed fundamental flaws with the RCMP.
The scandal did? Really? Really? Or did it fix it? I can't get into it. I can't give my argument on that, but I got one.
It has some observers wondering if the force is even capable of change.
It's got some observers, listen to it, thinking that it's not capable of change. What the fuck are you talking about? There's 17 initiatives to battle systemic racism. Men, you can become an RCMP officer if you were married, I think. Okay, there's lots of things that have changed. The pair test has changed. Tons of things have changed. Okay? If you're transsexual or transgender, you could become a cop. I think you always could, but I don't know about that. Women can now become police officers.
So maybe tell me a bit.
Here we go.
About the woman in this photo.
Well, that is me.
Karen Adams knows what it's like to push for change from inside the force.
I swear to God, the reporter, you're drunker than a skunk.
It's like to push for change from inside the force. She was one of the first women ever to wear an RCMP uniform in 1974.
But still we had shoes that looked like a granny and had heels on them. Not really functional at all.
They've changed that though, guys. What do you mean? She said they're not capable of change. Girls don't have to wear that anymore. You don't have to wear high heels anymore. You should, but you don't.
But some gals have stories about chasing people and falling.
Fighting to be on the same footing as the men.
I looked in the mirror.
Come on. Come on, that's stretching it. Fighting to be on the same footing. Okay. I could just imagine being one of the first female police officers, going to the police station and everybody going, what the hell? Like she gets her posting? What the hell? A girl? Well, we're not used to that. that's going to take some to get used to, right? We're going to have to start changing shit. Like the bathrooms.
Here, put my Stetson on and literally cried and saying it took 16 years for me to be deemed an equal. Oh yeah, it was heartbreaking.
Sexually assaulted by a superior, she was taught to bury it.
He was a corporal, and we learned in training that corporals were like mini gods. You just did what they told you to do, and you didn't question it. And
well, did she just say corporals are mini gods? I got to hear that. Sorry, I got to hear it again.
Taught to bury it.
He was a corporal, and we learned in training that corporals were like mini gods.
Not anymore. They're scum of the earth garbage. Okay? Believe me. The worst job in the RCMP is being a corporal. We're not gods. They're not gods. They're the shit that everybody shits on. They take the shit for the detachment. That's what they do.
Adams believes reform is necessary to fix the toxic culture.
Toxic culture. Yeah. But what culture are you talking about exactly? What culture? They don't really explain it. Do you know what I mean? What culture? Because I know what culture needs to be changed. I know what part of the culture needs to be changed, but they're not talking about that. They're not talking about what I said earlier in what I said. They're talking about sexual assault. I think it's pretty fair to say that there's not a whole lot of sexual assaulting going on within the membership anymore. I think it's pretty safe to say that girls are just as important as men in the RCMP. Like, the amount of change is absolutely incredible. There used to be a height requirement for men. So it's not just women. That's changed.
Sexually assaulted by a superior, she was taught to bury it.
He was a corporal.
So she was sexually assaulted, okay? And when I heard that, okay, here's the thing with sexual assault. If I go up to a girl and I grab her titty, that's sexual assault. Like, it's such a big definition. If I try to kiss somebody and I do kiss her and she didn't want to kiss, that's sexual assault. Rape. We all know what rape is. That's sexual assault. So when I heard her say that, I started Googling her name. Karen Adams. Is that her name? Yeah. Karen Adams. And she wrote a book. So then I read her book today. I read her whole book. Good book. It's a good book. But I wanted to get to the sexual assault part. Because I didn't know what this corporal had done. What's my point? Point one is you should read her book. It's interesting. Point two is I'll let you come up with your own opinion about what happened there in that scenario. I'm not going to give you my opinion, but I was looking for the rape, and I was looking for the guy's name. I wanted the guy's name, and I didn't get information really on either. Anyways, just keep on going.
Change management was Eli Sopo's job at the...
Sorry, guys. I don't even know what she's saying. You have to be intoxicated. Jan management?
Dealing with.
Change management was Eli Sopo...
Change management? Change management? Change management.
Change management was Eli Sopo's job at the
Eli?
RCMP.
Eli.
But he saw little willingness for it.
The culture hasn't changed. The structure, of course, hasn't changed. The systems haven't changed.
What are you fucking talking about? It's all changed. What are you talking about? It's all changed. And what are you talking about when you say culture? The culture hasn't changed? What part of the culture? It's a huge culture. There's lots of different parts of it that's changed. The systems haven't changed?
When you talk about change, we talk about a sense of urgency, and the culture hasn't changed. The structure, of course, hasn't changed.
The structure course has changed. Are you talking about the course, the depot? It's totally changed. Completely changed. They don't even do the pair test. They do another test. Because the pair test was racist. And if you're 5 feet tall, you can't jump over a 6-foot man, something like that. I can't remember, but they got rid of that. Lots of things have changed. We're given carbines now, dipstick. What are you talking about? What are you saying, that nothing has changed? Women are in the police force now.
The systems haven't changed. When you talk
What systems? What systems?
about change,
I don't know why I'm getting so excited. I don't know why. Maybe because I've had a couple drinks.
systems haven't changed. When you talk about change, we talk about a sense of urgency and a sense of purpose. Well, it seems to have no sense of urgency at the political level.
I'll give you that.
He says the stakes are too.
But it's funny that they just talk out of their ass. Like, give me an example. Where are the examples? He gave me no example. He just used big words.
At the political level,
He says the stakes are too high to ignore this conversation.
I guarantee you, you will have another major disaster, severe injuries, death, and
Like he did in Montreal.
complete chaos because of poor communications, poor issues management, poor leadership and structures.
Those shoes and the clutch purse, let's be honest, not
People
functional.
clearly felt different
Yeah.
at the time. The force says it's owning up to its faults and not.
I kind of like it. I like the skirt and the purse and the heels. We should bring it back. I'm sorry, that wasn't funny. I don't know, guys. I don't even know what I got out of it. Didn't even really make sense. It's incapable of changing, but then they showed all the changes. And I talked about the changes. Is it time to rethink the RC? These communities think so. Which community exactly? What community? These communities think so. Surrey? One guy? I'm probably not even going to air that because that didn't even make any sense. I am confused. I'm actually confused.
What's up, dude? It's Latank. I'm actually really intoxicated by marijuana at this point, but it is completely legal and medicinal, apparently. So I was slow last time.
Latank, it is. It is completely legal. What can I say about marijuana?
So I'll get right to it. Yes, part 4 of 5 is coming out on my YouTube page. I love what you're doing.
I haven't done anything. Latank's, he's got a podcast. Maybe I'll put a link in the description. I got to find it.
But I also like what I'm doing. So, I mean, you're a superstar. I'm not, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
But I'm having a lot of fun with it.
That's good.
Thanks for hinting me to do this, dude, and much love to you. And yeah, hopefully we'll talk soon. If I visit that way, I'll come see you.
Yeah, I would love that. We should play poker. This guy retired from the RCMP medical. He's got MS, and he's bored with his life. He just started out a podcast. I'll put a link in the description. I guess I hinted to him to start one. I think I did. We had a telephone conversation, or yeah, he called me once, and I responded to his call. But what was I going to say? You know why you do a podcast? Because in 80 years, I'm a strong believer that YouTube's still going to be around. And I'm still going to be on TV. My grandkids get to watch Grandpa. That's pretty cool. So even if you suck at it, which we all do, it's a good reason to start one.
Jaws,
Yeah.
you got to help me out.
Oh, no.
The boy decided he wanted a fishing rod. So I went and bought him a fishing rod.
Uh-oh.
What I need help with is how are you supposed to tie the hook to the fishing rod? What's the proper way to tie the knot?
Come on.
You got to help me out, man.
Stop that.
Thanks.
Don't make me do that. I gotta find fishing line now. Good God. Put that at the end of the video.
Hey, Clint, this is Andrew from Regina. I had
Vagina.
a question here.
Andrew?
Hey, Clint, this is Andrew from Regina.
Andy.
I had a question here.
Oh, no.
Through the RCMP training, I do know that they offer you a job right after you complete.
No.
So I was wondering.
No, they offered to you, I believe, before that. like while you're at depot. You're about to get your badge. What are you wondering?
After you complete, but I was wondering if I don't accept the job, would the training that I received from the RCMP depot count towards?
Did he just say depot? It's depot. It's not depot. Okay? It's not Home Depot.
I received from the RCMP depot count towards like a different police force? Like, let's say, I'm Indigenous, by the way, or indigenous, as you say. I'm
Indigenous. Okay? Thank you for being Indigenous.
I'm Indigenous, by the way, or indigenous, as you say. I'm Indigenous anyways, and I was thinking about joining the tribal police force, and I'm wondering if the RCMP training would work for that, or if it's, I don't know, I'm losing my train of thought here. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is, does RCMP training pretty much guarantee you a job with any police force, or is that just with the RCMP? Anyways, again, love the podcast, love the YouTube channel, been watching it for about a year now, so keep up the great work, man, and hope to hear from you. Thanks.
Thanks for your call, dude. I appreciate it. I know Victoria, they're giving you bonuses. They're giving RCMP members bonuses to come on over. Yes, you're probably going to have to still do some qualifications with them, maybe a short stint. But I believe that, yeah, you'd be a shoo-in. That's what I would believe. You would think I would know the full answer to that question. Well, let's find out. We continue to operate our incentive program to attract experienced officers with a $20,000 signing bonus. This year, they've hired 4 experienced officers. So I think that answers your question. I also know Halifax Regional Police, like a ton of them, left and became RCMP because of Chief Kinsella. Chief Kins. Thanks for your call. Keep watching. Ooh, you're never on anymore. I will be.
8844. My son is 38 years old and totally qualified to make this kind of a.
Hey guys,
Thank you for using text to landline.
Text to landline? I didn't even know I had that. I wish I could text you back.
You have a text message from 403588844. They have a hard time recruiting people. He also says the training is not.
Oh, whoever this is, you're going to have to call me.
Using text to landline.
I didn't even know I had that. Oh, there's 100 of them.
Hey, Clint. I'm a current RCMP applicant. I called into your show just over a month ago now, talking about how I had a altercation and ended up putting a guy in the hospital, and then had to discuss that in my RMAC. I don't know if you remember the call, but either way, I just got news that they are moving me on to the next phase of the application process. So I suppose I articulated it well enough. And I'm moving on to the psychological next.
Oh,
so I got the medical screening, psychological, and all that jazz. So my question to you is, what are the odds that you would actually get cut out of the application process if you make it this far?
Hi. And I don't know why, but a lot of people are getting kicked out at the psych stage. And they don't even give a reason. And I think some people are in the psych stage and they get kicked out during that stage, but they're actually getting kicked out because of a stage that they reviewed, that they hadn't really reviewed, but then they went back and reviewed. These members are not finding out why they're being kicked out. It's insane. Everybody's calling me. They're not telling me why. There's a girl in Port Alberni that just got kicked out of the psychological stage. At the psych stage. No reason why. I sometimes think that maybe they no longer... I just about failed the psych stage because I said I believe in things. I wrote a test. I believe in things that aren't actually there. I see things that other people don't see, and I said, yes. It was a total mistake. But health services made me sit down with a psychologist after that. And then he asked me that question. I'm like, no, man. No, that was a mistake. I didn't mean to fill it out that way. I don't know if they're actually following up anymore, where they see a mishap and then they make the member or the recruit sit down with a psychologist to talk about it. But yes, a lot of people right at the end are being kicked out. But good for you for passing your RMAC.
I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but at this point, I'm feeling pretty hopeful it's going to work out for me. So, anyways, love the show. Keep them coming. It's been a little while. Hope everything's all right with the family there. So, thank you very much.
You're hopeful. I guess, see, I'm a different bird. I always, when I was going through the process, I tried not to get it's impossible not to get your hopes up. Impossible. But I told myself, I thought I had AIDS. Okay, I thought I was going to get kicked out because I had AIDS. That's what the medical was going to come back. I mean, I can't believe I don't got AIDS. But I thought I didn't want to be hopeful because it was easier. I thought if I wasn't, I tried not to be hopeful because I didn't want the punch to be so devastating if I didn't make it. I don't know what your odds are, but they're still there. Just because you're this far, that's great that you're this far, right? The odds are in your favor. How about that? But I've seen a lot of people being kicked out towards the end lately. And I don't really understand what they're doing with the process. It's like they're just kind of throwing it all together. Like, get it done quickly. We need bodies. We need heartbeats. How do we make recruiting faster? I think they're trying to figure that out, and then you get punished for it because you get to the end. They do what's called a final review of your file. That's the final thing they do. I was told for a month, it's downstairs being read. I would call the recruiter every week. Am I going yet? It's downstairs being read. It's still downstairs. Nobody's read it. That was the final stage. And I bet you people are getting kicked out at that final stage. The final read. Can't explain why. It's like I don't know, they're just kind of throwing things at you. Maybe you fail a stage, but yet you still go forward. And then they're like, oops. I feel like they're really disorganized right now. One person got interviewed from a call taker. That just blows my mind. It wasn't even a police officer. It was a dispatcher.
It's Rin again. I apologize for calling so many times. I just have so many questions, and you seem very down to earth.
Who's this?
Hey, Clinton, it's Rin again.
Rin?
I apologize for calling so many times.
Well, don't apologize.
I just have so many questions, and you seem very down to earth. Know what you're doing. And,
you know what I'm doing?
I guess this is more of a personal note. If you ever want to give me a shout, I promise I'm not going to stalk you, knock on your door or anything. Although leaving 3 voicemails in a row probably deters you from thinking so. But I assure you, we're on the same team. Anyway, my phone number is 519-0640, and you can reach me anytime. I'm in Ontario currently. Windsor, moved from Toronto for a girl.
Got a very sultry voice.
Seems to be going well. Anywho, it's 519-90, and you can reach me most days between the hours of, let's say, noon to 6 p.m. If you'd like, I'd like to...
I'm always busy between noon and 6 p.m. I'm sorry. No, I appreciate the call.
If you'd like, I'd like to pick your brain. And maybe if I bring up anything that's of value, you can transfer my points to a podcast or a YouTube channel. All right.
Podcast.
Again, the phone number is 50640.
Oh, thank God you gave it to me a third time. Hey, you know what? I make fun, but thank you for the call. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll get really, really drunk and I'll call you, right? We'll have a good conversation. I just like that you called. I didn't know you were calling a lot.
Hi, Clinton. My name is Rin. That's R-I-N, or Romeo India November.
Rin.
Big fan of your YouTube series and your
me.
podcast. I've only recently encountered it, and I've tried to watch as many videos as I can.
Watch them all, Rin.
Subscribe to your channel.
Right on.
I'm not really concerned with any RCMP detachments or what they'll be sending me. I'm willing to work anywhere. I'm currently in the recruitment process.
Boyle? Do you want to go to Boyle?
I think as we speak, I'm in the suitability screening background check. I think my biggest concern is I'm 37.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of setbacks with policing in general in terms of recruitment. Not so much the fact that I can't get hired, but I keep getting injured at the job I'm always doing.
Oh.
Loss prevention seems like a typical route.
Yeah.
You know, 2 years ago, I was in the background process and sustained pretty severe injuries during a robbery. But enough of that.
Enough of that.
I guess my question to you is, I know they're always saying be fit for depot.
Be fit.
But do you get certain amounts of tries at depot to pass anything in terms of shooting, physical fitness, push-up, pull-ups, etc.? I know the whole process takes about 8 months to a year. That's what my recruitment officer said anyway. I'm wondering, should I be worried at this age? My body's going to hold up. I'm taking care of myself the best I can. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I've never done drugs. Hell, I've never even gotten a speeding ticket or a parking ticket for that matter.
Oh, come on.
But I'm getting older. Do you have any experience with anybody in your troop or heard of anybody in your troop, and other troops, should I say, that were older, struggled, and got through? And can you tell me any stories, any words of advice? Thanks, Clinton. Have a great day. Take care of yourself.
Thanks for your call. 37-year-olds, not a big deal. Depot is designed to pass you. We have two 40-year-olds. I don't know what's wrong with your body. I wouldn't advertise that there's anything wrong with it, okay? Depot's not difficult. The physical part of depot is not hard. And yes, you get tries. You get 2 tries at shooting when it comes to your final. Maybe they changed it. Shooting's a lot easier now. I shouldn't say that. I take that back. How many tries? Yeah, I mean, when I was there, the pair test. You got a lot of tries. Scratch that. You only got 1 try at the pair test at the end. And if you failed it, you were gone. But the pair test has changed. I don't know. I think you think it's like an extremely hard boot camp. It's not. It wasn't when I went through. That part is not hard. I hope I answered your question. 37's nothing, man. Talking about. It's actually the perfect age. Good luck to you. Let's call it. Gotta go upstairs. I know she's upstairs. And what else can I say? I'm gonna go scare the living shit out of her. Brings up morale in the household, right? That's what I'm gonna do tonight. I'm gonna scare everybody in the immediate family. Well, I wouldn't be doing that if I were you. Okay. You know, you're liable to get shot. You scare a Mountie at 3 a.m? Where's your brain? What are you thinking? They got guns, man. You're a hazard. You're an absolute goddamn hazard, Jaws. That's what he would say to me. That was dumb. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Hello, how you doing? What?
You called me.
Yeah, I just wanted to see how you're making out. Whereabouts are you?
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Why?
Hi.
Why? That's how you get rid of your wife. This is how I tie a hook. I make a knot. I start out. I make one single knot. Okay? One knot. See the knot? I don't want that. I want to get rid of the long piece. Still too long. This part you could use scissors or some pliers. I take the knotted end. The other end is attached to my rod. I put it through the hole of the hook. Can you see this? Okay. See that? I got some of that fishing line in my throat. I wrap around. Okay? I wrap around 6 times. 2, 3. Okay, let's just call that 6. I take this end and I go through the little hoopy doopy, right like that. And then I go through the big hoopy doopy. Loop. I keep on holding on to that part. That part right there. Okay? And then I do this. I don't know what you call this. I guess you call it tightening. There you have it. Can't see, but that's why I put a knot there. This is so stupid. You can't see what I'm doing. But I put a knot there so when the fish pulls, that knot prevents the hook from unraveling. That little tiny knot that I tied at the beginning. I'm not a very good teacher. That's how you tie it. Stupid. Oh my God. What am I doing?